All right, y'all. I have the transmission bolted in, but unfortunately I filmed very little of it. This is going to be a quick one. As you can see, it's still sitting on the transmission jack, so not everything is bolted up yet. For once, I actually had extra hands to help me out, and whenever that happens, it always seems like filming takes like third place. So I'm going to, in the description, link some other folks' videos that I found helpful during some of the processes, like measuring for the clutch finger depth, like engagement from the bell housing, measuring for the slave cylinder dimensions from the face of the transmission. There's instructions in the Silver Sport pack for how to do that, but like I said, I'm gonna link some videos that I found helpful when I was doing a little bit of research on this. Sorry I didn't get all of the video for this one. Trans is at least in. I am pretty excited about it. Still a lot of work to do. I have myself a roadkill style breakdown of what needs to be done still. Give a quick overview of what's been done and where we are currently at. All right, so I think we're ready for the new flywheel to go in. So this is a McLeod flywheel. I also have the McLeod clutch over there. So yeah, let me get this unwrapped, get it under the truck, and get it lined up and put on the crank. So here I'm attaching my flywheel. I am making sure that the bolt holes are lined up, including that 7th hole that aligns with a divot on the crankshaft. I'm only going to use 3 bolts to attach it right now, snug tight, because we need to check our runout. The bell housing centers the transmission on the crankshaft, and that needs to be measured and within 5/1000ths of an inch. Now the bell housing does need to be torqued down to spec, which I think we did to 35 foot-pounds using the bolts that were provided. And then it needs to be measured using this gauge plate that you can buy from Silver Sport. Now that circle in the center is absolutely necessary to measure runout correctly. Other bell housings like QuickTime have that circle built in, but if you're using sort of a generic bell housing like this one, you need that gauge plate to be able to measure right. So I'm going to provide a link below to Silver Sport's instructions on how to measure runout. They also sell offset dowel pins if this bell housing needs to be adjusted left, right, up, down in order to get under that 5/1000ths or less of runout so that your warranty is valid. That information then needs to be documented and sent back to Silver Sport in order to activate your warranty. Luckily, I did not need to swap out my pins, my dowel pins, because my measurement came out to 4/1000ths, and we checked it several times to make sure. So after that, we were able to install the flywheel for real. I used some ARP bolts with some of their assembly lube under the heads, and I also used Loctite on the threads, blue Loctite, to not only hold them in place, but also act as a sealant, because these are open holes into the oil passages on the other side of the crank. So these bolts we tightened in a star pattern, kind of like you would lug nuts on a wheel. And we also worked in stages. So our target was 75 foot-pounds, and we went through and did it incrementally. So first we did a round at 25 foot-pounds, I think. Then we did 45 foot-pounds. And then after that was done, I busted out the big torque wrench and we went up to 75 foot-pounds. It is obviously a huge help to have a buddy here who can hold on to the crank bolt at the front and make sure that the engine isn't trying to turn over while you're, trying to hit this torque rating. After that, before putting the clutch on, I hit the flywheel with some brake clean, wiped it down. I did this actually 2 or 3 times. There's a oily residue on it from the factory to make sure it doesn't rust, so you don't want that to be between your friction material when you put the clutch on. The clutch came with an alignment tool. It's one of the cheap plastic ones, but it did okay. I think a metal one is going to be much better. And then we took the clutch itself and got that bolted on. Same idea, we did the bolts in a star pattern, like kind of back and forth, one side then the other, until we hit the torque rating. And I want to say these were 35 foot-pounds as well. I might have to go back and check. And with that, we were able to go ahead and reinstall the bell housing. Again, 35 foot-pounds for these bolts, but it's going back on now for the final time. Now, one thing again that we didn't record but is very important is to measure the distance once everything is torqued down from the face of the bell housing to the fingers on the clutch there. There are instructions on how to do this. I'm going to provide some links to videos below, but you need to measure that, and you also need to measure the actual slave cylinder and its relation to the face of the transmission so you can figure out how many shims you might need. After that, we got the transmission on the jack, got it up in, bolted it up to the bell housing. One thing that I thought was a little weird, and you can see this here, is that one of the bolts in the bell housing doesn't get used. I actually emailed Silver Sport about that, and they said that was totally normal. And the big hole there is also totally normal. Kind of weird, but okay, whatever. And here's a shot from the inside of the truck. I had to see this, right? First off, just to see the shifter in position. And also, I threw the seat in so we could see the relation of the shifter to the seat. Now, I did buy separately a Tick Performance short throw shifter, and I do have it turned around to sort of the mid position. That puts it like it just touches the seat in second, fourth, and sixth. Silver Sport also provides these little dust covers made of metal, one for either side. Though I didn't end up using the one on the starter side because it would have shimmed the starter out so far that the bolts wouldn't fit. Now I am running an aftermarket starter, so maybe that's the problem. I may trim that down to make it fit in the future, but for now I've left it off. So the last thing I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to measure for the drive shaft. So I already have a 5-inch aluminum shaft that I had for my 4L60E, but the Magnum transmission is about 2 inches longer, roughly. So here what I'm doing is I'm putting in the slip joint all the way, seating it. I'm measuring from center of U-joint to center of U-joint. That's what my drive shaft shop requested. And then I'm going to subtract an inch from that. For me, that came out to 68 inches exactly on my long bed pickup. I'm hoping to have that back next week. I've got a lot of work to do yet, but it's coming along really nicely. I hope you're enjoying this, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.